Did you witness the Turkish foreign minister, which was visiting the Rafah border now in solidarity with the Palestinian people and the genocides that Israel is taking place against the Israeli people? How do you read the scene?
Yes, this is a significant development. This comes on the heels of President Erdogan in Turkey last week announcing they were putting their own conditions. Turkey would now have an embargo on Israeli ports. Turkish ships cannot go to Israeli ports. Israeli ships bound for Israel with cargo cannot stop at Turkish ports. Turkey has closed their airspace to Israel official flights, even though it's still open to commercial passenger flights. Essentially, Turkey is solidifying not just their actions to contain Israel's aggression, but they are also signifying that they are working with their Arab neighbors and their partners. We see that Egypt has been leading the way for many months. For most of this conflict in Gaza, Egypt has been trying to reach a resolution with Qatar and the United States to find a path forward that preserves the lives of the Palestinian people and that complies with U.S. wishes. We now see Turkey is joining this effort. The visit to Rafah is highly symbolic, highly important, and also because of, as I mentioned, the battle in the United Nations between the Western allies of Israel that are trying to get the discussion back to the status quo. They want to keep focusing on normalizing relations with Israel, saying we'll have peace after normalization. We want to return to Oslo, like an Oslo 2.0 status. And then we have the group that is now pushing in the United States, Egypt, Qatar, Turkey, and all of the other nations.
And
that
protests
want the
all
United
around the
Nations
world also are taking place, Ms. Chapman.
Mm-hmm. Yes, and the most significant is if the United Nations can now proceed with the Uniting for Peace resolution, which is this 1950s resolution that has been used before with Uniting for Peace. They can override the Security Council vote. They can override the United States permanent veto vote on the Security Council. The General Assembly can meet, and with a 2/3 majority, they can vote to have the UN Secretary General either implement Chapter 7 or at least dispatch a emergency security force to Gaza to prevent the ongoing genocide. They can then institute other mechanisms, criminal investigation of Israel, revoking Israel's membership credentials before the United Nations, criminal investigations, restarting anti-apartheid mechanisms. So there is a big push in the United Nations now to break past the impasse created by the United States and actually get United Nations boots on the ground, perhaps an emergency force to establish the peace that will have rules of engagement that will allow them to engage with Israel, with the IDF, force them to stand down, or be able to use lethal force against the IDF as an occupying army. So we're at a critical point now. Also, I should mention France. They have this meeting they want to have later this month with their two-state solution push. People are suspecting that France is using this just to prolong the status quo. So there's a lot of chaos, a lot of confusion happening right now between the Western allies that want to preserve the status quo and the member nations that want to push forward
Got
with
your
peace.
point, Ms. Chapman. Dr. Mickey,
Thank you, Rana.
Hamas reiterated it is ready for a ceasefire and detainee release if the war ends and the occupation forces withdraw. Could this be the clearest path yet towards stopping the bloodshed?
Yes, I think Hamas, when they announced from the beginning their preconditions about stopping. That's how they could release the detainees. They have put some precondition, which is the most important condition was to end the war. This is the most important thing. That's and before that it will be like to stop the war. They will be like withdraw from Gaza and also stop all the military action against that the civilian in Gaza, and especially as there are famine and also the genocide and the starvation. So if all these conditions will be fulfilled, so I think Hamas will accept it, but not like what now proposed by Trump plan. Hamas, as I said before, there will like Steve Witkoff plus was accepted by Hamas. So the two conditions that have been included in Steve Witkoff plus is to stop the war, is to stop the ceasefire and also the end of the war. So Hamas for the ending of all this bloodshed is that they should at the end of the war in order that they could release the detainees. This is the thing that Hamas proposed from the beginning, and it was in before March. After that, the Israeli, as you know, they attacked Gaza, and after that, they refused all the proposed by Witkoff. Even Netanyahu didn't even respond to all what they have been, that's have been reached from the American administration, especially Witkoff. But now, as when Trump announced about this plan, Netanyahu accepted this because I think there is it's like ambush here. There is no any written guarantee from all the meditators, and especially they are not included. So I think Hamas, if they will be the end of the war, they will be discussed and also stop there will be ceasefire and withdraw from Gaza and release the Palestinian detainees. I think there is no any problem or obstacles for Hamas to release all the 48 detainees.
Ms. Chapman, Israeli Defense Minister Katz threatened to unleash a massive storm on Gaza while Trump's proposal is on the table. How does this contradiction between threats and talks affect prospects for peace? And another question, Ms. Chapman, is in light of what Trump's statements he did yesterday and he announced yesterday about the last warning and a ceasefire, and the Israeli side okay with the ceasefire, and he wants to reach end the war, every day since last Friday or Thursday, Israel is systematically striking a tower in Gaza, some place in the West Bank, which makes the people of Gaza and the Palestinians have to displace the place instantly and leave the place instantly. How do you comment on both questions, please? And of course, the second question is very important because it's systematic and it's happening so quickly and so strategically.
Well, what we are seeing is, as usual, Israel is using negotiations as a cover to carry out their genocide, their flattening of Gaza City, all of the infrastructure. They have said, not just Defense Minister Katz, Finance Minister Smotrich, Ben-Gvir, they've said repeatedly in Hebrew to their own people that their goal is to annihilate Gaza, flatten it, annihilate the people. They have been very honest with this. Trump himself, President Trump, is confused. We have seen in America that he has abandoned our own intelligence service, Tulsi Gabbard, and he has chosen consistently to listen to the intelligence of the Israeli government, which is not serving him well. Therefore, he appears confused and he has no strategy. And this is why, even in light of the statements of Israel's defense minister and other ministers that they were going to go ahead with this, it is becoming more important for the international community to stand up and resist this. Time is running out.